Did you know that some of the most popular drinks at fast food restaurants contain more sugar than a dozen donuts? What if I told you that certain beverages you're ordering right now could be silently damaging your body in ways you never imagined? Before you pull up to that drive-thru window today, you need to hear this, because what I'm about to reveal might completely change the way you think about fast food drinks forever. We've all been there, standing at the counter or sitting in our car at the drive-thru, scanning that massive menu board trying to decide what to drink with our meal. It seems harmless enough, right? Just a beverage to wash down your burger and fries. But here's the harsh reality that the fast food industry doesn't want you to know. Some of these drinks are far more dangerous to your health than the burgers and fries themselves. We're talking about liquid sugar bombs, chemical cocktails, and calorie catastrophes that can wreak havoc on your body with just a few sips. The beverage industry makes billions of dollars every year by keeping you addicted to these drinks, and they've perfected the formula to keep you coming back for more. So let's dive into the 5 fast food drinks you should absolutely never order if you care about your health. And I'm going to explain exactly why each one is so problematic and what it's really doing to your body. 1. First up on our list of drinks to avoid is the large milkshake. And this one might hurt, because who doesn't love a thick, creamy milkshake? But these innocent-looking treats are basically desserts disguised as drinks. A large chocolate milkshake from most major fast food chains can contain anywhere from 800 to over 1200 calories. That's more than half of what many people should eat in an entire day. And we're just talking about the drink. But the calories are just the beginning of the problem. These milkshakes are absolutely loaded with sugar, often containing 72 over 100 grams in a single serving. To put that in perspective, the American Heart Association recommends that men consume no more than 36 grams of added sugar per day, and women no more than 25 grams. One milkshake can contain 4 times that amount. Your body simply isn't designed to process that much sugar at once. When you flood your system with that much sugar, your blood glucose levels spike dramatically, forcing your pancreas to pump out massive amounts of insulin to deal with it. This creates a vicious cycle of energy spikes and crashes that leaves you feeling tired and craving even more sugar. Over time, this pattern can lead to insulin resistance, weight gain, type 2 diabetes, and a whole host of metabolic problems. And let's not forget about the fat content. These milkshakes often contain 20 to 40 grams of fat, much of it saturated fat, which can contribute to high cholesterol and heart disease. The worst part, many people don't even consider milkshakes as part of their meal when they're counting calories or thinking about nutrition. They see it as just a drink, something extra, when in reality it's adding an entire meal's worth of calories and sugar to their day. What's even more concerning is that these milkshakes often contain a long list of artificial ingredients, including stabilizers, emulsifiers, and artificial flavors that your body has to process. Some chains use ice cream that sits in machines for extended periods, and the quality of ingredients is often questionable at best. You're essentially drinking a chemical cocktail that happens to taste like a milkshake. 2. Next on our danger list is the supersized soda. And yes, I know this one seems obvious, but we need to talk about just how bad these really are, because the numbers are truly staggering. A large soda at most fast food restaurants is typically around 32 ounces, though some places offer even larger sizes that can reach 44 ounces or more. That seemingly simple soft drink contains around 300 to 400 calories and a mind-blowing 75 to 100 grams of sugar. That's roughly 20 teaspoons of pure sugar in a single drink. Think about that for a moment. Would you ever sit down and eat 20 teaspoons of sugar straight from the bowl? Of course not, because you'd immediately recognize how absurd and unhealthy that would be. But when it's dissolved in a fizzy-flavored beverage, we barely think twice about it. The problem with liquid sugar is that it doesn't trigger the same satiety signals in your brain that solid food does. When you eat something sugary, your body at least recognizes that you've consumed calories and adjusts your hunger accordingly. But with sugary drinks, you can consume hundreds of calories without feeling any fuller, which means you'll still eat the same amount of food on top of all those liquid calories. Research has consistently shown that sugar-sweetened beverages are one of the single largest contributors to the obesity epidemic. They're linked to weight gain, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, fatty liver disease, tooth decay, and even certain types of cancer. The acid in soda also erodes your tooth enamel over time, leading to expensive dental problems down the road. And here's something that might surprise you. Diet soda isn't necessarily a better choice either. While it doesn't have the sugar and calories, studies have shown that artificial sweeteners can actually mess with your gut bacteria, potentially affecting your metabolism and even increasing cravings for sweet foods. Some research has even suggested that regular diet soda consumption is associated with an increased risk of metabolic syndrome and type 2 diabetes, though the exact mechanisms are still being studied. The artificial sweeteners can also trick your brain into expecting calories that never come, which can lead to increased hunger and overeating later. The carbonation itself can cause bloating and digestive discomfort for many people. The bottom line is that whether regular or diet, supersized sodas should be avoided at all costs. 3. Coming in at number 3 is the large sweet tea, which is particularly popular in certain regions and often marketed as a refreshing, natural alternative to soda. Don't be fooled by this deceptive marketing. While tea itself is healthy and full of beneficial antioxidants, the sweet tea served at fast food restaurants is essentially just another form of liquid sugar, often just as bad as, or even worse than soda. A large sweet tea can contain anywhere from 60 to 90 grams of sugar, depending on the chain. That's roughly the same amount as a large soda, completely negating any health benefits you might get from the tea itself. The problem is that sweet tea has this health halo effect where people think they're making a better choice because it's tea, not realizing they're consuming just as much sugar as they would in a soda. Some chains add so much sugar to their sweet tea that it's practically syrup with a hint of tea flavor. And unlike hot tea where you might add a teaspoon or two of sugar yourself, with pre-sweetened iced tea, you have no control over the sugar content. You're at the mercy of whatever recipe the restaurant uses, and trust me, they tend to err on the side of very sweet because that's what keeps customers coming back. The excessive sugar in sweet tea leads to all the same problems we discussed with soda: blood sugar spikes, insulin resistance, weight gain, and increased risk of chronic diseases. What makes this particularly insidious is that parents often order sweet tea for their children thinking it's a healthier option than soda, unknowingly giving their kids just as much sugar. The habit of drinking sweet tea throughout the day can be especially damaging because you're constantly bathing your teeth in sugar, which promotes cavity formation. Many people in regions where sweet tea is popular drink it with every meal, meaning they're consuming multiple servings of this sugary beverage every single day. That can add up to hundreds of grams of sugar per week from this one source alone. If you love tea, your best bet is to order unsweetened tea and add your own sweetener in controlled amounts. Or better yet, learn to enjoy the natural flavor of tea without any sweetener at all. Your taste buds will adapt over time, and you'll start to find overly sweetened drinks unpleasantly syrupy. 4. The fourth drink you should never order is the large frozen lemonade or fruit slushy. These brightly colored icy beverages seem perfect on a hot day, and they're often marketed as fruity and refreshing, which makes them seem healthier than they actually are. The reality is that these frozen drinks are sugar nightmares wrapped up in pretty colors. A large frozen lemonade can contain anywhere from 70 to 120 grams of sugar and 400 to 600 calories. Many of these drinks are made from concentrates that contain very little actual fruit juice and are instead mostly high fructose corn syrup, artificial flavors, and food coloring. The frozen slushy texture makes them incredibly easy to consume quickly, meaning you're downing all that sugar faster than you might think. High fructose corn syrup, which is the primary sweetener in many of these drinks, is particularly problematic. Unlike regular sugar, it doesn't trigger the same satiety signals in your body, which means you can consume enormous amounts without feeling full. It also goes straight to your liver for processing, which can contribute to fatty liver disease and metabolic dysfunction. And because these drinks are frozen and often consumed on hot days, people tend to drink them very quickly, causing rapid blood sugar spikes followed by equally rapid crashes that leave you feeling tired and irritable. The artificial colors used in many of these beverages have also raised some health concerns, with some studies linking certain food dyes to behavioral issues in children and potential allergic reactions. What's particularly deceptive about these drinks is that they taste fruity, leading people to believe they're getting some nutritional value from fruit, when in reality they're getting almost nothing beneficial and everything harmful. Even the versions that contain real fruit juice aren't much better because fruit juice itself is quite high in sugar once you remove the fiber that naturally occurs in whole fruit. The fiber in whole fruit slows down sugar absorption and helps you feel full. But when you drink juice or these frozen drinks, you get all the sugar with none of those benefits. Some of these slushies also contain caffeine, which combined with the massive sugar content can cause jitters, anxiety, and sleep problems if consumed later in the day. Children are particularly vulnerable to these effects, yet these colorful drinks are specifically marketed toward kids. 5. And finally, the fifth drink you should avoid at all costs is the large flavored coffee drink. particularly the sugary, blended coffee beverages that have become insanely popular. We're talking about those caramel frappuccinos, mocha lattes, vanilla iced coffees with extra pumps of syrup, and other coffee concoctions that are more dessert than drink. These beverages can be absolute calorie bombs, with some large sizes containing 600 to 900 calories, 60 to 80 grams of sugar, and 20 to 30 grams of fat. That's essentially a meal's worth of calories in what you're thinking of as just a drink to accompany your breakfast or lunch. The problem with these drinks is that they combine multiple sources of calories and sugar: sweetened coffee, flavored syrups, milk or cream, whipped cream, and sometimes even additional toppings like chocolate chips, cookie crumbles, or caramel drizzle. While coffee itself is actually quite healthy and has been linked to numerous health benefits, including reduced risk of certain diseases and improved mental alertness, these sugar-laden coffee drinks completely transform it into something your body doesn't need. The caffeine content in these drinks can also be problematic. A large coffee drink might contain enough caffeine to cause jitters, anxiety, sleep problems, and increased heart rate in sensitive individuals, especially if you're consuming it on an empty stomach or late in the day. Combine that with the massive sugar content, and you're setting yourself up for an energy crash that'll leave you feeling worse than before you had the drink. Many people have made these sugary coffee drinks a daily habit, not realizing they're consuming an extra meal's worth of calories every single day, which can easily lead to significant weight gain over time. If you're drinking one of these every weekday, that's around 3,000 extra calories per week, which could translate to gaining over 20 pounds in a year if you're not burning off those calories through exercise. Even if you think you're making a lighter choice by ordering a smaller size or asking for modifications, these drinks are still often loaded with more sugar and calories than you'd imagine. The whipped cream alone can add a couple hundred calories, and the flavored syrups are pure sugar with no nutritional value whatsoever. Many chains offer multiple pumps of syrup as standard, and each pump adds significant sugar. If you love coffee, the best approach is to stick with plain black coffee, or if you need something added, use a small amount of milk and perhaps a single packet of sugar or sweetener. That way you get all the benefits of coffee without turning it into a liquid dessert that undermines your health goals. So what should you drink instead when you find yourself at a fast food restaurant? The answer is simple. Water should be your go-to beverage, especially at fast food restaurants. It's free at most places, it has 0 calories, and it's exactly what your body needs to stay hydrated without any of the negative health impacts we've discussed. If plain water seems too boring, you can ask for lemon or lime wedges to add some natural flavor without adding sugar or calories. Unsweetened iced tea is another good option if you need something with a bit more taste, and you'll still get the beneficial antioxidants from the tea without the sugar overload. Black coffee or tea without sugar or with minimal sweetener is also fine if you need the caffeine boost. Some restaurants now offer sparkling water or flavored water options with no added sugar, which can be a nice middle ground if you want something more interesting than plain water. The key is to avoid liquid calories whenever possible and save your calorie budget for actual food that will nourish your body and keep you satisfied. Making this one simple change can have a profound impact on your overall health. If you typically drink a large soda with your fast food meals and you switch to water instead, you could eliminate over 50,000 calories per year from your diet, which translates to potentially losing 15 pounds without making any other changes. Your body will thank you, your waistline will thank you, your teeth will thank you, and your long-term health will definitely thank you for making this simple switch. You'll also likely notice that you have more stable energy levels throughout the day without the sugar crashes, and you might even find that your taste buds adjust and those overly sweet drinks start to taste unpleasantly syrupy.